Hello there, pal number one. Welcome to your April reading. So this is a timeless reading, which means that it will be relevant to you in the nearest April. Okay, pal number one. Your reading consists of actually enjoying your moments. So this is the time for you to put down your suits, put down your baggage, and actually enjoying the festival. Enjoying the fields, enjoying the theme park, or whatever things that the world has to offer to you. Which means that this is the time for you to actually relax and play. You don't need to think about responsibilities all the time, because there are already a time period of your life where you need to think about that, where you need to be disciplined, where you need to be responsible and make sure that you have everything covered up. But this in April, in the nearest April, it will be the month where you are able to enjoy those things that you've been working so hard. Because work and rest have its own period, and this is telling you to enjoy things, have fun, connect with your inner child, because it just feels like you are laughing, dancing, and listening to the music. Just feels like you finally have enough resources or wealth to finally relax a little bit and spend things on yourself. Perhaps you've been saving for a concert that you want to go, or perhaps you want to join a course, or a classes, or even few classes. Because I want to say a class, but suddenly I just say a classes. Perhaps it could mean that it's more than one classes that you're interested in, that you've been putting some interest, and this is probably the perfect time for you to actually explore those interests of yours. Some of you might have reconnecting or taking up interest on drawing, doodling, painting especially. This is very prominent. Painting, whether it's graffiti or painting like calligraphy or what else, the branches of painting, that it just means that arts related things. It could be that making music, learning how to play on an instrument. But it just feels like there is this celebration moment, celebration vibe that you are finally receiving right now, and it is telling you to enjoy it to the fullest. Not being irresponsible about it. Obviously, I'm not telling you to hurt yourself or other people in the process. However, it just means that you are finally able to get this period of time where you loosen up your tie and putting down the baggage for a little bit, knowing that no one will steal it, and knowing that there is no urgencies right now, so that you can enjoy your celebrations. It could be that if you have families, there will be moments where you can connect and actually enjoy this quality time with your children's or with your loved ones, whether it's your parents, your partners, or how you defined your family. And it just feels like, oh, there is this picnic vibe and kindergarten vibe. Because the picnic vibes that I meant was because it feels like you are putting things on the ground and then laying on the grass and bringing your own lunch and enjoying those lunch with your loved ones. Well, for the kindergarten vibe, it just feels like you are connecting with your inner child. You are playing, having fun, laughing. It just feels like you are finally and completely be able to stay in the present, to stay grounded in the present and enjoy the good things in life. And it feels here that very fulfilling for you, because in a weird sense, actually it's not weird, I'm trying to look for the words. It just feels very fulfilling. If previously you've been going through your lives empty, or you're just doing routines, trying to do all those tasks, to-do lists and schedules, but this is the time where you actually enjoy life. You play, you're being in the present moment, whatever play means to you. Some people think that play is playing an instrument, other means playing is connecting with your children, connecting with their inner child, or their children as in real children if they have one, or if you have one. Or it could be just playing card games or playing Monopoly or anything that you could spend time with other people. Or you can even playing sports, do a competition if that is what you define as fun. Other people's defining fun as creating arts, getting creative, making doodles, doing graffiti, and basically birthing new things. And I also hear that in April you will have limitless imaginations. So if previously you have been having a stuck moment or feeling stuck, that you weren't able to think things imaginatively, and this is the month where you're able to think things using your imagination to the fullest. You're playing with it, tampering with it, and rather than shaming your imaginations, especially if you're an adult that living in the environment where being imaginative is considered quote unquote being irresponsible because you're not grounded in reality, you don't think about work or those kind of things. Here you will entertain yourself and create a creative pursuits, skills, hobbies, or even activities that can help you to be in that zone so that you can create more things. So the inspirations just flows. It feels like you're finally getting in touch with yourself that you have yet, or previously you don't have the time to get in touch with again because life happens. There are responsibilities that you need to fulfill, and sometimes there are things that you need to do in which you need to postpone this. But now you will have the time to explore those, to explore your imaginations, where you can be anything and you can create anything without limits. There is this possibility where you will be interested in musicals or theater, did I spell it correctly? Excuse me if I pronounce it wrong, but musicals, theater, movies, acting, and it just feels like you are being expressive rather than just holding it in. The creative energy within you, you are expressing it out. You are feeling it. You are telling the whole world. Obviously, it's your choice, but it's not like you're hiding it. You're telling that if you're, for example, learning how to knit or learning how to crochet or anything else, but then, for example, after you knit something or you crochet something, you give it to other people, and in no sense that you're hiding that skills of yours, right? Because you're giving it to other people so that other people can enjoy it together with you. There is this sense of I have enough so that I am able to share it with other people, those kind of things. So it's enough in skills, enough in resources, enough in wealth, and enough in knowledge. It just feels like you've already accumulated enough, and now it's time for the balls to roll. Keep the balls rolling while you enjoy the journey, not only the end goal, but also the journey here. So if you love, for example, knitting, you'll be enjoying every time you knit, and also the end project, the end product. That way you are able to share them with the people that you loved. What else do I see here? Anything that I have yet to mention about their April? It just feels like, oh my god, I realized that you will be traveling. So for example, if you've been wanting to attend like some kind of training or seminars that are on a different town or overseas or whatever it is, you will have the resources and capabilities to do so, even when you think you don't. But somehow, one way or another, you will find yourself capable of doing that. It just feels like your brain will be creating alternatives, ways, and possibilities on how we can make this happen, because there is no wrong way to make this happen. If I'm not mistaken, there is this quote from Bob Ross, like saying, we don't make mistakes, we make happy little accidents. And I think that sums up your pal beautifully, because it just is like that, because your whole life is just not. It's just a combination of colors, brush strokes, and while you enjoy every brush strokes and every color that you put in your canvas, the bigger picture is also beautiful, just as the journey itself. And it just feels like that. Very beautiful and inspiring, I might say. Well, I think that's it for your reading, and I hope you enjoy it to the fullest, because it feels really wonderful. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hello there, pal number 2. This is your April reading, and this will be a timeless reading, which means that it will be relevant to you in the nearest April. Okay, then let's get into your reading. Well, here I see the first things that is very, very, very prominent is that you have mastered your emotions. You have mastered on being receiving and giving love. There is this indication that you finally learned how, when to make boundaries, especially with the scissors over here. It feels like you're finally learning how to make and assert your boundaries. Perhaps previously you might have not, or perhaps still in your journey in finding the perfect one, or perfecting your boundaries in a way that is not harsh but firm, so that you're telling people that this is what you will tolerate and this is what you will not tolerate. And if even after you've communicated them with other people, people will still cross the line, there will be consequences that you will have to assert toward them. There will be things that you will do accordingly if they are unable to understand that, because boundaries serves a purpose, and people that cannot respect your boundaries perhaps is people who are benefiting from you not having boundaries. And sometimes boundaries might seem like it makes people stay away from you, but know that by making boundaries you make people that does not align with you or does not have the same values with you away or far away from you, and the people that respect your boundaries, the people that have similar values with you, stays. So you are finally able to look at who are the people that you want to keep in your life and who does not, who you don't want to. Okay, it just feels like you're finally mastering these boundaries, because having boundaries, it just means that you actually love yourself, that you don't let other people dictate it for you. You don't let other people treat you like a doormat. You love yourself enough that you are able to set these rules so that other people know how is best for them to love you, how is best for them to respect you. There is also this indication that on April, especially April, perhaps it's the climax where everything finally makes sense, but it's finally the time for you to make use of those past experiences, past emotional turbulence, or anything that requires you to have to be in control. Actually, it's not more controlling, but it's more like being in peace, recognizing, being aware of that, and thus not letting the emotions control you. It's not that we're controlling the emotions, but realizing that emotion serves a purpose. Emotions are just informations. They are data that tells us something. They tell us what triggers. They tell us about how we feel about things. They tell us the triggers that we are experiencing. And it's not something bad that we need to demonize it or we need to control it, or it is something shameful, but it is not. And I think the past experiences have given you the arena to learn those skills in order for you to be more in peace with yourself. So especially with the King of Cups here, you can see that the throne that he's sitting in is in the middle of the sea, where the waves are still splashing around him, but he is not being thrown away. He's still sitting in his throne, holding his cup and the staff. The emotions are still there. You're just recognizing it and being aware of it, and you understand that this serves a purpose. You're not here to control it. but you're here to make use of it, to understand its weaknesses, and to make use of its advantages. Again, I just feel like it needs the emphasis of emotions are just data. There are informations that are telling you about something, about people, but how you feel about other people, or your values, or when your boundaries are crossed, how do you feel about that? Or how other people treated you, and so on. What do you think about the environment that you have, your values, your current life, your progresses, and such things. It's just clues that helps you to be able to navigate this, because everyone have different path that they are taking. We cannot just make one size fits all. And here in April especially, you will realize the importance of your emotions and mastering them. Yes, mastering. It's not controlling, but it's mastery. And here I see that because you know how to put boundaries and assert them when you need to, it feels like you are able to be more freely giving to other people. Because if previously you've been afraid of giving love because you are afraid that other people might treat you like a doormat, treated you like you're easy, that you're giving free things to other people. But now, because you have boundaries, you know when to say no, you know when to say enough, you know when to say stop. I'm not playing this game anymore. It's not a game. You're not entertaining their comedy anymore, and you're not playing that. It actually allows you to be freely, to be easier to give love, because you know that you can trust yourself that if things go to worse, you are able to assert your boundaries. You trust yourself that you will be able to handle it, and if things goes wrong, it takes turn to a worse, you will be able to handle this accordingly. Not harsh, just firm. Yes, it feels like you're not entertaining those people again, which is why you are happier. You are able to spread out love more than before. It's easier, it flows naturally, and it's like you're finally in tune with your emotions. You don't need to think about those people that does not respect your boundaries. You don't think there's a need to entertain them, to comfort them, because the right people will come anyway. The people who will respect your boundaries will stay, and the one that cannot are free to go. After all, you do not want them in your life if that is how they treated you. If just by setting your boundaries they cannot agree with that, with you setting boundaries, I don't think that, I believe that their purpose already maxed out. If you understand what it meant. It just feels like there are some old relationship that does not work any longer, and you decided that, you know what, I am not going to entertain this anymore, and it is best for me to let it go, because the right person will come no matter what. There's no need to fear of scarcity, of feeling that if I break up from this person I will never get to date again, or if I break my friendship or relationship with that person, I will be forever alone, because it does, you know, you understand that there are plenty of abundance out there, and you're not scared or fearful that you will never have your share. It just means that this is not the right person for me. This is not what I wanted to be treated, and I will not settle for less. Okay, yes, that is the word that I'm looking for. You will not settle for less. Which is why we're talking about boundaries over here, and also about the emotional mastery. Because boundaries does not have to be harsh. It just means it can be firmed. You don't have to scream it out loud so that the other person will have to hear you. You don't need to fight for that, for them to respect you, because the right person will respect you anyway. Even when you talk with them, when you communicate with them normally, like when you're telling stories, they will pay attention to that. They will respect that. They will remember that. You know, I would like to share a personal story of mine. Perhaps you would not like it, but I think that this might be a helpful example. Like, for example, there was one moment in my life that I felt like I'm not satisfied with my name, the name that I am given at my birth. And then there's this person that I care for very dearly, and I told them that I don't want to stay by this name any longer. And I said that I want to take up another name or a nickname that I am much more comfortable in, because it feels like I've outgrown my old name. And you know what? That person that I'm talking to was not someone who I met regularly. They're someone who I met once in a blue moon, and I just said once, literally just once, and we're just talking normally. It feels like probably you're going to forget about it the next day, but they respect my decision. They respect my opinion that I don't feel like I'm comfortable any longer with my name, so they change it. Sometimes I do hear them slip out saying my name, my old name, I mean. But then they quickly, like literally when they realize it, they quickly change it. Because sometimes when you're calling people a name, it's just habits, right? But what amazes me that people who actually respect your boundaries, respect what you want, will remember it. And even when they slipped out, they tried their best to not fix it, how do you say it? Okay, I'm not finding the right word, but let's just use fix for now, okay? If I found the perfect word, I will change it. But yeah, they will quickly change the way they speak to me, not the way they speak, the nickname that they call me, because they remember that I do not like to be called with my old name any longer. And it was such a heartwarming, because I don't think that they will remember, or they will think that it is something that is important. Because, well, I live in an environment where it's not common to change your name. So yeah, people don't take that thing seriously, and when it just feels like, wow, there are people who actually take you seriously, who respect your decisions, who respect your boundaries. And when you tell them, you don't even need to assert them, you communicate them, and they will understand that, which is very amazing, right? Sometimes when you're, I just want to tell, I don't know whether this will be relevant to you or not, but I just felt called to put this out. But it feels like sometimes when we are surrounded by people who does not understand or be respectful towards our boundaries, it just feels like our words meant nothing. When we communicate, it just feels empty. But let me tell you, not everyone is like that. Perhaps this environment might not hear you, but go outside or go somewhere else in the different circle, in the different communities, different town, or even different countries if you have the resources to do so, because you realize that there are people who actually respect that. And sometimes when you are inside of an environment where they actually take advantage with you having no boundaries, it just feels like, oh, it's not, what is the use of making boundaries? You might have think like that, but it is good for you. You might not notice it right now, but honestly, I know that I've been rambling, but I just feel called to say that you will find your tribes. You will find people who actually respect you, hear you, and communicate with you. They listen to your words. They understand your needs without you having to scream, to fight, to yell at them. That they need to understand, this is what I need, this is what my boundaries are. But you don't have to do that. You will find people who will understand that without you having to do so. Even when you're communicating, as simple as when you're chit-chatting and then you suddenly say that, oh, I cannot eat this because of, for example, medical reasons, or for example, religious reasons. I am not able to eat this. And those people who even just heard it once will understand. Obviously, people have different memories, but I just feel like people who respect you, who think you as someone who is important for them, they will understand that. They will keep that in mind. And I just feel like I need to tell you this because there is this sense of hopelessness that I just felt, like you're not being heard. You're not, it's not, it's like you're calling people, but the other person was not taking the call. Just keep calling them, spamming them, but they just cannot, or they don't even want to answer the call. So it's like the messages is not sending, it's not being received, excuse me, it's not being received. And it feels like you've been worried and feeling like a little bit hopeless about the situations. But let me tell you, you will find your tribe. If it's not in here, in this environment that you are in right now, then try another one. Because sometimes when we're inside the situation, inside an environment, it feels like the whole world burning. It's, oh, there is this analogy, if I'm not mistaken, or it's an idiom, I forgot. But there is this feeling like if you are born in a burning house, you will think that the entire world is burning. But that's what you've known your entire life, and the world is not burning. Perhaps your house is burning right now, but you can go out, find a new place, find a new community, find new families or connections and relationships that actually make you comfortable, make you heard, and you'll be able to find your own home or even make your own home if you cannot find one. And it just feels like don't lose hope. There are people outside there that will love you. And I think that needs to be said. Okay, let's go on to the Six of Wands. It feels like finally your hard work pays off, especially with this arrow over here. It feels like you've been taking action, making things happen, putting in hard work, effort, investing in time, energy, and attention, and so on. You've been doing your duty, you've been doing your work very diligently. You're not taking shortcuts, you're doing things, and it is finally pays off. Finally, oh yes, I just feel that like someone yelled, no, not yelled, like having this very cheerful fist palm and say, oh yes, finally, you are in the place where you are able to enjoy this hard work, this harvest that you've been doing, that you've been taking care of. Oh, finally, I think to some of you, you are moving or you are finding a home or a place where you actually finally feeling accepted. You're feeling at home, you're feeling comfortable. Especially with the picture of the Six of Wands over here, it just feels like that. It feels like, oh yeah, I finally found the place that I belonged. If previously you think that you are like you're not in your right place, but you don't know where to go, and this is probably finally the time period where you will find the place, the communities that you find comfort in, and where you feel accepted, where you feel celebrated. People are proud of you. In the place where people are proud of you, they think you are a good contributor, and rather than just putting you down or nitpicking your weaknesses, like from your past environments or people or relationship or whatever it is, these people are pointing out your strengths, the things, the good influence, the changes that you make that makes people life better, and it helps you build this healthy confidence and trust in yourself. And I think this is a very good month for you. I truly happy with the cards that came out and tell me this, because oh my god, you've worked really hard and you've done so well, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm sure that you must be so proud of yourself. Oh my god, it's just, I feel like I want to do a fist pump and yell too together with you. It just feels so like something is bursting in my heart, like someone was throwing confetti. You know, there's this confetti, yes, confetti. It's bursting, and you hear those loud noises of confetti shooting. But rather than being scared or anxious about that, you feel very, oh, it's like cathartic. It feels cathartic, like you are able to yell, finally, oh gosh. There is this sense of pride towards yourself, because I know it's not easy journey so far, right? it's difficult. There's a lot of challenges, and there are people who wants to put you down, who does not want to see you succeed. And regardless of that, you are able to go this far and make your own journey, make your own celebrations. Like, you do not let those people get into you. And oh my gosh, like, I want to give you a high five, you know. I hope that will be okay for you, because I know some people does not like physical ties. So if you don't like, I would do a fist pump together with you from far away if you don't like physical touch. But I'm truly really happy with this, and I hope you do too. And enjoy your April, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hello there, pal number 3. Welcome to your April reading. And this is your pal. I've already shuffled them and rearranged them to make it easier. And the first thing that I notice is that with the Fool over here, as well as the Gun card and then the Rotten Apple card over here, it feels like you are finally ending things. You are cutting things off. You are closing a chapter and opening up a new one in April. So basically, you have already ended a cycle. You've ended things, relationships, career or job, or you quit or change environment. Or it could be, to some of you, is that you find that the environment that you are living in is not resonating any longer. So you've outgrown it, or you've been there too long without noticing how toxic it became. It could also be that some of you have been maintaining a relationship that has gone sour for a long time, and yet you did not have the energy or the means or whatever it is to end it. But you already ended. Perhaps in the previous months, you've ended it. You've created a clean slate, a new chapter, and which is why this April, or the nearest April, because this is a timeless reading, which means that it will be relevant in the nearest April, whenever you are watching this. And it just feels like you're finally letting go of those old baggages, and in the path of healing, as well as it feels like you finally understand that this is not where I'm meant to be. I am not meant to settle for less. I am meant for great things, and I have huge dreams that I want to accomplish. With the ballerina as well as the pumpkin over here, it feels like previously you've been settling for less. You've letting other people step upon you. You've let other people ignore you or not giving you the amount of respect that you give to them. So there's no reciprocation within the relationship, or the dynamics is not mutual. It feels like someone is giving more than the other, and the other does not appreciate it. They take it for granted. They did not see your worth, and they did not value it. And thus, you finally decided that this is it. This is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. And you decided to cut things off cleanly so that it won't disturb your present and future journeys. So, with the Fool over here, you are embarking in a new chapter of your life. It could very possibly that you are moving to new places. For example, previously you've been living with your partners, but then you broke up and you decided to live separately, and because you don't want to meet them again, so you decided that you move town or move places where you will not be influenced by those memories, so that you are able to create a new life, a better life. And there is this possibility that this could be relating to career, because with the ballerina over here, it just feels like you have a dream that your child self really want to accomplish, but then the world and responsibilities come in and tell you that you need to grow up. You don't dream any longer, that your dreams are childish, and so on, blah 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 blah. There are so many things that telling you that it is not worth it, that you need to grow up and take some responsibilities. But then you realize, if even after living your life this long, working hard, trying to impress everyone, trying to become an adult that they wanted it to be, like in their own definition, you realize that this perhaps is not the path that you want to pursue for the rest of your life. You realize that, oh, I've been doing things, I've been trying to make sure they're, excuse me, making sure that I do whatever they telling me to do, and yet it led me to nowhere. You realize that this is not getting me anywhere, and there's this realizations that you do not want to keep doing this for the rest of your life. No, you say this is enough, and you finally end it or move fields or places or cut toxic relationships that does not support you, or that disempowers you from gaining or accomplishing these dreams of yours, and which is why you are embarking in this journey. And let me tell you, when you started this journey, it might have been not lonely, alone, like you don't have anyone with you. It just feels like no one is coming together with you. Look at the ballerina. They are dancing alone. There's no other people, no other ballerinas there with her or him or they. But there's no need to worry, because on your journey you will find someone who will resonate with you, who will support your dreams. They will not do things for you, but they will empower you in achieving and accomplishing your dreams. Even when things are rough, they are able to make you remember your power, make you remember your worth and your strength. And when other people are trying to put you down during this journey, they will be able to remind you of your light, that you are powerful. Honestly, this connection, I don't know yet whether this is a romantic connection or just a platonic, or just a connection that you met with the top two of cups here, because sometimes relationship does not always have to be romantic for it to be healthy. And okay, I want to say this previously, which is why I'm zoning out. I think it was meant to be said. I'm saying that the two of cups here does not have to be romantic. It could be, but usually, I'm just telling you this. So far, my readings most often is platonic, not exactly romantic, which is why that is the first thought that I came across when I see this Two of Cups. It could be just a connection that feels that nourishes you and make you feel seen, empowered. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's not necessarily mean that platonic relationship cannot be healthy. Not that's not what I meant, but it just means that usually in my reading, it's more into platonic relationship, platonic connections more than romantic connections. Obviously, there are cases where it is indicating of romantic relationship, a connection that was meant to be romantic. However, usually I need to see two indication, at the very least 2 or 3 indication that is pointing towards that it is indeed a romantic connection that we are referring to. But in here it feels like it's more of a companion, how do you say it, is that the correct way? But yeah, it's more like a comrade, a companion that helps you in starting this journey or embarking in this new journey. It feels like, for example, you're on a solo road trip and then you've lost your way and you ask people, where do you go to this town, or where is the way that I can fill my gas for my car and so on. But then there's this person that offers you, oh, it's a little bit far, but you can stay at our place for a day, for example, because it's too far and the weather is not really good. Perhaps you can stay with us and have dinner together, and those kind of things like that. People that you connect with like that, that empowers you. Excuse me if you hear me sniffling because I have a runny nose. And it feels like you're setting these boundaries. You're not taking shits from other people anymore. If people are talking bad, you're closing your eyes and focusing on the people who actually support you, who empowers you, who sees your strengths and your words, your values, rather than nitpicking all the mistakes that you've made, all the bad things that you do, or so on. You are only have energy for people who transforms together with you. And this is wonderful, to be honest. I can't help but be curious on what you will achieve, and let me know if this resonates. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.